friends, it's Shannon here from Better Than Takeout. Today we're going to make for you a simple taco bake. This isn't anything that is going to be very time consuming at all, so let's go ahead and get started. First we're going to get our oven started. We're going to preheat it to 350, and now we're going to make the goodness that goes inside this taco bake. This is just simply 1 pound of ground beef. If you want to use fat-free, you can. You can also use turkey if you don't prefer to have the ground beef. I'm going to put this on about medium-high. I've chopped up a half of a yellow onion. I'm going to throw that on in. And then we're just going to season it. We're going to let this meat get brown. And while it's browning, we'll get everything else prepared. I have already cut up, right here in this bowl, 2 large Roma tomatoes. You can use any type of tomatoes you want. I use Roma tomatoes because I like to pull those seeds out of there. I love tomatoes, but I don't like the seeds because they just tend to get too messy, and especially with the kiddos. So it's just been kind of my go-to tomato. So we're going to let this get brown. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to season it with some onion powder, some Lawry's, and then some garlic pepper. This is a garlic pepper mix. It's also made by Lawry's as well. I'm going to go ahead and let that get brown. I'm going to pull out my taco seasoning. I forgot to pull that out. So all we're going to do is we're going to brown this meat up. And then once we get the meat browned up, we're going to get these chili beans in there. This is about 27-ounce can of chili beans. We're going to throw that right on in here with this browned up meat, along with some chunky salsa. I'm going to use paste today, but you can use any type of salsa that you prefer. It doesn't really matter. It can be name brand, it can be generic. It's all relative. Ain't nobody judging here. We're just going to get it on in, because once you put it in there and you taste it, it's all going to taste the same. But I will tell you that it needs to be the chunky salsa, because what you don't want is this to be super liquidy. You want it to be a little bit thick, because it's going to be a taco bake. Yeah. So we are back. Our meat is nice and brown. Now we're going to go ahead and get this grease drained out. I'll show you a little hack here. I don't know if you guys have done this before, but obviously we don't want to put that grease down our drain. So what I do is I just take a bowl, it's a disposable bowl. I'm going to stick it down in here, put my colander in there, so that way we can get it nice and drained out. And we don't have to worry about putting anything in our drain, because what's going to happen is when the oil hardens up, we just throw it in the trash. Easy. You can leave a little bit of this extra coating in here. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that drained out. Then we're going to immediately toss it right back on in here. And at this point, we are going to add our taco seasoning. You're going to use 1 packet of taco seasoning. You can use the low sodium if you prefer. You can use mild. You can use hot. It's whatever your taste buds prefer. We're going to toss this right in. And we're just going to use a little bit, maybe a 1/4 cup of water, just so it's enough to cook the seasoning into the meat. What we don't want is to have a lot of liquid at this point, because once we add in our chili beans and our chunky salsa, it's going to have liquid. So basically all I'm doing is tossing this together so that the taco seasoning gets in on the beef. And like I said earlier, you can use ground turkey. I probably wouldn't recommend ground chicken. I mean, if you want, you can try it, but I've never done that, so I'm not sure how it would really turn out. I won't be able to speak on that. So now we have this meat. See, it's just basically tossed in there. It's not anything serious. And we're going to go ahead and get these chili beans open. We're going to toss this whole can in there. And now, for our salsa. Like I said, you want to use the chunky salsa. You do not want to use the regular salsa. It's going to end up being too liquidy. I've actually done that before because I was in a pinch and I didn't have anything different. And it was very liquidy, and that's not the way you want this to be. So we're going to throw in 1 cup of salsa. When my mother-in-law was alive, we would always have to use the extra mild salsa when we would make this, bless her heart. She couldn't handle any type of heat on her mouth. So we're just going to get this mixed together, and we're going to let it kind of simmer for a little bit. And once it gets nice and simmered, we're going to throw it in this 9 by 13 casserole dish that I have. And we are going to toss on some shredded cheese and our tomatoes. We're going to throw it in the oven. So let's go ahead and let that mix up. I'll throw this bowl right here in this sink, excuse me. So our oven is already preheated to 350, like I said earlier. And once this gets simmered in together, I'm going to turn it up a little bit so it'll start boiling. I like for it to boil before we get it simmered a little bit. And you see it's a nice thick consistency. That's exactly what you want. That's exactly how you want to see it. If for some reason you did have to use the regular salsa and it ends up being very liquidy, just let it simmer down for a while. I'm sure that will help. That's what we did whenever like I said, I was in a pinch and I had to hurry up and use that. Because you know how it is, when you have everything at the house, you are not trying to go to the store again. You just want to get it done. So let's let that simmer for a minute. What we're going to do is we are going to put it directly in the casserole dish. I'm going to put on some cheese. I don't even know how much. I don't even measure it. This right here is 2 bags of 8-ounce cheese. This is a taco blend cheese. You can use cheddar. I've used that many a times. I don't even know how much we're going to put on because I don't measure it. I just stick it on there, and when I see or feel that that's enough cheese, then I kind of go with it. So if you want more, put more. If you want less, it's all up to you, however you prefer doing it. All right, we got this ready to go. We're going to go ahead and toss this in our 9 by 13 dish. And we're going to cover it with some cheesy goodness and some tomatoes. See, we're just going to throw it right on in. If you're going to make a double batch of this, then I would recommend obviously using a bigger dish. This is a 9 by 13, so it fits in here just right. Perfect consistency on our blend here. Like I said, I'm just going to throw this cheese on top. I'm not going to measure it. We're just going to put on however much we feel. And then after we get this done, we're going to just stick it in the oven. We basically are only needing the cheese to melt. I mean, we have already cooked our ground beef. Our chili beans, they're done because they're just canned beans. So once we get this cheese to melt, then it's going to be ready to serve. Sometimes we serve it with corn tortillas, and sometimes we use tortilla chips, and that's what we're going to do today. So I got a bag of the Tostitos Cantina Traditional Tortilla Chips, and then we'll do it like that. If you just want to eat it in a bowl, hey, do that too. Whatever suits your fancy. So we're going to go ahead and do this and stick it in our 350 oven. So I've already used 1 whole bag. It looks like I'm going to use about half of this bag. So what's that, about 3 cups total? Because these are 2-cup bags. So yeah, see, that looks nice. Nothing serious. We're just going to toss our tomatoes right on top. You can put anything on here you want to put on. We have put green onions on it. I'm sure it would be good with olives, if you like olives. And like I said, this is 2 large Roma tomatoes cut up. If you notice, these are just the thickness of the tomato. There's no insides, no seeds in here. Just because whenever I get to eating it or my kids get to eating it, I'm not trying to deal with all those seeds squirting everywhere. Sometimes sometimes they think it's funny to do that, but you know. So yep, all we're going to do is stick this right on in the oven. And as soon as this cheese melts, I'll pull it back out. Let's see what we got going. Alright, so this has been going for about 8 to 10 minutes. I think this cheese is nice and melted now. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out so you can see what we've got. You see that? This is just a nice cheese taco bake. Goes up in there, fills up that whole 9x13 dish. We're going to just take our tortilla chips. We'll put some of this in a bowl. We'll take our tortilla chips and just eat them just like that. And like I said, you can eat it regular. You can eat it with chips. You can eat it with tortillas. Just however you want to do it. Just kind of make it your own. And put anything on the top you want. Just do whatever you think is going to be good. So I just wanted to give you a quick, easy recipe. Something that's going to be very simple for you to make. The longest part of it was simply browning that meat, maybe chopping up the onions and tomatoes, but let's be honest, you can buy chopped up vegetables at the grocery store these days, so that makes it easy as well. And I appreciate you coming into my home. I appreciate you letting me into your home while you watch this video. If you can graciously subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, maybe hit that thumbs up for us. We do appreciate your support. If you have anything you'd like us to try and put on the video, let us know. We respond to all emails and all comments on each and every video, and we appreciate you for watching. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon, friends. Bye-bye.